Is there a strategy that'll help you grow your company faster? CEO Sales Strategies is an investigative business podcast for entrepreneurial people who never stop asking questions. Highly acclaimed sales revenue growth expert Doug C. Brown interviews CEOs, business owners, and professionals who serve them to uncover and share actionable tips and methods behind their bulletproof sales strategies. Topics covered on the show include their failures, struggles, secrets, and processes that help them succeed in selling millions to billions of dollars of their products and services, all with the sole aim of helping you grow your business. If you are eager to know the most effective sales secrets from the A players of the game, then the CEO Sales Strategies podcast is certainly the place to be.
Hey everyone, this is Doug C. Brown with the CEO Sales Strategy Podcast. I got a really great guest today from Canada. His name is Dickson Lam. He owns a company called EFFYDESK.ca. That's EFFYDESK.ca. And I was really excited to talk with him because he started his company in 2019 and he grew it pretty rapidly. He's on his way right now in 2021 to maybe even break 8 figures. And that's a pretty good deal from a startup company that was organically funded and going through the growth. And we talked about how do you get the growth to work, when you're scaling up rapidly, because a lot of companies, when they have that, it's chaotic or frankly, they implode. But he's just continuing to grow the company. And we focused a lot on SEO, pay-per-click, things of that nature, because that's one of the main ways they drive their leads. And we talked about it in the way that people really should understand how online marketing works before they actually just start spending money on online marketing. Because if they don't know, they can easily spend a lot of money and then find out, oops, not the way to go. We also talked about selling on value. That's what he does, but he positions value intelligently through the whole customer journey. And this is something that a lot of people don't do. And so it is a success trait for what he does. And, I loved his beginning. I mean, I asked him after our call, I said, what got you moving originally? He said, well, I used to sell things on Craigslist and I sort of took the same concepts that I had on Craigslist, which was a successful system making money. And I brought it to EFFYDESK. And I was thinking, man, somebody started out on Craigslist and, they've gone on now to, build a company, which I predict will be at a minimum a multiple 8-figure company. And it was a really interesting story. So anyways, without further ado, let's welcome Dickson Lam to the call from EFFYDESK.ca. And I know you're going to learn a lot from this interview. Hey everyone, it's another edition of the CEO Sales Strategy Podcast. This is Doug C. Brown here. I have an amazing Canadian on the line with us today. Smart guy. I've been chatting with him. Really nice guy. His name is Dickson Lam, and he owns a company called EFFYDESK. And so Dickson, welcome to the call, sir.
Oh, no, thank you for having me, Doug. No, I really appreciate your time.
So EFFYDESK, I was checking out your website, love what's on there because I spend a lot of time in the office and, I can see you have like ergonomic things and you have all these cool things to help people be more comfortable. And if you could sum up what EFFYDESK does, just so our listeners know, I think I could sum it up, but I'd like to hear from you.
Yeah. So we really believe in work health, and majority of the workforce right now spend upwards of 5 to 12 hours on a computer. And we believe sitting in one position is just really bad for your health. So we've started to sell these ergonomic office furniture, such as standing desks, to help promote better posture, to prevent injuries, to promote better back health, neck health, and all that. And we also found that being able to alternate between sitting and standing, your productivity also goes up quite a number of folds. And that's the reason why that we started EFFYDESK, is just trying to help the public become more healthier in their work life.
Hey, mission. That's a good thing. People,
Yeah.
A lot of times people don't think about mission. They think about, I got to sell, I got to sell, I got to sell. And that's nice. But when you sell with a mission, it's a lot easier.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And I heard a quote, sitting is the new smoking. So,
Yeah.
and, I have a stand-up desk right behind me over on the left of my view. And I alternate in between those. And he's absolutely right. You will be far more productive when you get up and you move around, and then you'll be far more comfortable when you sit back down again. So you just have better mental clarity. I do every day when I do this. And so, if you're looking for ergonomic or, elegant, affordable, and quality ergonomic office furniture, go to EFFYDESK. That's EFFYDESK.ca. And we'll put that into the notes for you folks. So you started this company in 2019 and you're having pretty fast growth.
That's right. Yeah. No, we owe it a little bit to COVID also, where everyone's working from home. Like we're in the office, you'll have this expensive, fancy furniture, but people working at home, they're kind of doing some makeshift desks and offices where they're in a really uncomfortable position. So we really saw a lot of sales boost when people started to realize, oh, we need proper ergonomic furniture at home also.
So, but I mean, you're having fast growth for a company that just started in 2019. And so I understand that circumstances change, COVID is, take Zoom, right? They were, hey, who's Zoom? And, we have this WebEx and we have the, GoToMeeting and we have all these other things. Now today, it's like, I don't even hear WebEx, GoToMeeting. I hear, I've got to Zoom with my buddy, or I got to Zoom, it's kind of like they've replaced the video conferencing with, now they are the brand, right? Zoom.
Yeah.
And
they're like Band-Aids.
and a lot of that was to COVID-19. And it's, so I think where you have an online presence, a lot of times COVID-19's helped out many companies because, as you said, a lot of people are here. But you've done some other things I think are really key to your growth. And, I know when we did an article that you said search engine optimization, or commonly known as SEO, is one of the biggest sales strategies and one of the things that most people starting out seem to forget or just take too lightly. If somebody would, and I used to own an SEO company, so I understand the value in that. Also, about 70% of the people who used to come as clients were already with an SEO company and not getting results. So if you were going to give someone advice on where to focus, on what they should focus on so that they use their time wisely when it comes to SEO, what would you recommend for them?
Well, SEO worked perfect for us. Like even before ads, I kind of already knew how important SEO was. And the mass majority of people buying desks are going to Google standing desks in the Google search optimization. So we really found that this was actually one of our most important marketing aspects in the business. So in the beginning, we didn't have that much of a budget. So I tried doing it myself. I was able to do a little bit, but I found it quickly that it was a little bit over my head. And I decided to look online and found a small SEO company also in Vancouver. And within two months, we already saw our rankings, first top two pages in Google, and we already saw revenues just started skyrocketing from there. So we really found the importance of SEO.
So SEO works great when you have a really clear target. And and you seem to have a very clear target. And one of the places that SEO falls down is the SEO company doesn't, I'll just say this nicely, force the client to actually get very clear on the target. And therefore, they're buying keywords or they're doing whatever on their behalf, and they're not getting the results they are. But what I heard from you is you get a very clear target, standing desk, whatever it might be. For those who don't know what SEO is, because some people listening might be okay, I sort of heard about that. You want to give them a definition of what you believe SEO to be for you?
Yeah, so for SEO, it's, in my own definition, I believe it's setting your website to be in a way where Google can read your website and see what your website is selling. So when you hire an SEO person to help your business, you're telling them to set up your business so Google can actually read it, and then you're telling them which keywords that you're actively going after. So when you're going after, let's just say, Vancouver Standing Desk, and someone Google's Vancouver Standing Desk, you're going to be one of the first ones to pop up if you're doing that SEO correctly.
Yeah, and it depends, or it used to depend on the keywords that were being used and certain things. I know things change over time. One of the things that with SEO, and I think you did a highly intelligent thing, because you're like, hey, I tried this out, and I did okay, and I learned some stuff, but Google and all the other search engines are constantly changing their rules and algorithms. And so those of you who are considering SEO, you want to find somebody that can explain to you what they're doing and why they're doing it, and put your thinking cap on and say, does this actually make sense for your business? So SEO or a search engine. Now, are you using just organic search, or are you using pay-per-click and things like that too?
In the beginning of our journey, for the first 6 months, we started SEO only, and we saw like a huge return. And then after that, we couldn't keep up with the inventory, so we didn't even look at ads. But then another 3 or 4 months later, we doubled down on inventory, and we started running paid PPC for Google and Facebook, and we saw another major return there. So they work hand in hand, PPC and also SEO. It's worked magic for us.
That's awesome. And again, I think you did some really, my company's called Business Success Factors, right? So I think you did a success factor here, which is you started with the organic, and you learned a lot from organic, I bet. And that helped you better target paid traffic.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So, again, I don't want to sound like I know everything about this, because I don't, because it changes so much. But what I see is you did the right paths, and so many people, this is sad. I mean, I talked with a gentleman one time at a live event, and he said, I can't make Facebook, work for me, on the paid ads. And I said, well, what are you doing? He said, well, I spent $100,000 this month. It's my first month. I didn't get one lead, none, zero. And so I asked him, I said, well, why is that? He goes, I don't know. He said, but this month I'm going to spend $120,000. And and I said, can I ask you a couple questions? He goes, yeah. He goes, but first, before you ask me the question, what do you think of that? I said, it's not a really smart play. Right now, I hope I'm not being rude to you, sir, but I asked him one question. I said, listen, do you have a company that is actually charging you a percentage of spend for the amount of ads that they're placing every single month? And he said, oh yeah, they're getting 10%. He said, why do you ask? I said, in 6 months, you're going to be spending $200,000 a month, because that's how they make their money.
Exactly. Yeah.
And what we did, he took my advice. And what he did is he went back and he started with organic to figure out the market better. And he stopped the $100,000 a month bleed. So those of you listening, the reason we're telling this story is because we've made the mistakes. So you don't have to, right? So start with SEO first, then go to paid pay-per-click. That is the best strategy. I also recognize you said, branding is everything, right? Could you let me know, or let everybody know here, what does branding mean to you?
Yeah, so branding is pretty much the face of your company. As an e-commerce store, you don't have a storefront. You don't have people talking to you. The only thing that kind of what people see in you is the branding. And what you tell people to see in you is pretty much your branding. So I guess in short, branding is pretty much your storefront, like your website, your demeanor, your customer service, the look of your company is your storefront. So that's, to me, is what branding is.
Very, very well said. I'll add something. J. Conrad Levinson wrote a book series called the Guerrilla Marketing book series. And I had an opportunity to do some work for Jay early on in my life. And he told me this, and I never forgot it. He said, marketing is everything that touches the senses of your client. And so isn't your brand. So the brand is, what are they thinking about when they're thinking about you or your company when you're not around?
Mhm.
And I always took that to heart. And I think exactly what you just said is so accurate for people. They don't think about their daily activities or the clothing they wear or how their website looks or the vehicles, I mean, they don't think of it as a brand, and people judge people and companies off a brand.
Mhm.
And so what would you recommend to others about building their brand so that they can scale to a multi-million dollar, 8-figure company?
Yeah, so what I would recommend is pretty much for your own company and your own business, what do you want other people to think? Like, let's just say you bought your own product. What do you want people to think of you when you're using your own product? And to me, that's what branding is. And once you understand what kind of brand that you want, you solidify that through like what you said, all touches of all senses, all points of contact, whether it be customer service, whether it be a look, a color of your website, and yeah, just like that.
You said something to the effect of, what do you want when your people are using your product or service? What do you want them to be
Mhm.
thinking, right? And that's starting with the end in mind. And
Yeah.
one of the biggest mistakes I see with companies when it comes to creating a brand, creating marketing, even creating a great customer experience so that the sales channel has it easier, is they forget to begin with the end in mind. They think the end in mind is the sale.
Mhm.
And the reality is there's much more to the end in mind. And
Mhm.
so when we think like what you just said, then it helps us reframe that whole original frame that we have. And
Mhm.
now you can't help but have to look at it differently. Did this come for you guys? Did it come on the first try, or did you sort of like adjust as you went along?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question because in the beginning, when we first started our company, the first name of our before EFFYDESK was actually Start Store Deals, and as you can kind of hear, it's we don't really want to like when we first started the business, we didn't want to perceive ourselves as a value brand because we're selling top of the line quality and really like a great product, and having deals in the name was not something we wanted people to perceive us on. So we actually transitioned the name from Stark Store Deals to EFFYDESK, and we changed the brand to become more of a premium look to match the premium quality. And that's what we want other people to feel when they purchase from our website. It's like, okay, I can rest assured we bought a premium product from EFFYDESK, and that's kind of where we went from.
Well, even the name change, right? The name change to the Effie desk, it sounds so much more upscale, and it sounds so much more like, wow, I want this higher level perception of value.
Yeah,
And obviously your products support that, but a lot of people don't think about value-based sell or a
yeah, they
value-based
just
sale.
pick up the sale. Yeah.
So,
You got to go back to providing that value rather than just try and get the numbers in your store, right?
whoa, that was great. You got to focus on providing value versus just getting numbers into the store. So could you kind of unpack that a little bit for us?
Yeah, so as a business owner, like all we focus on is just making money. But when you focus on making money, you kind of forget about all the smaller things that kind of make your company. But when you're focused on adding, like providing value for people, you kind of put your feet in their shoes where, okay, if I buy this desk, what will I get out of it? So we try to make it from A to Z. We want to provide that kind of service, that kind of quality, that kind of value that they're getting. So, so I'm pretty bad at explaining these kind of things, but yeah, no value. Instead of just when you're focused on value, yeah, you're focused on every aspect of making the purchase a beautiful process. While if you're focusing on the numbers, you're just focusing on okay, what my profit margins are, what I need to like, how much money do I need to put in to get this amount of money. You're not really focusing on what the customer needs and wants, and that's kind of where we kind of focus on, which is value.
And value is the perception of the person buying it.
Yes.
Right. So many people come say, we provide value. You know, I've worked with, you know, even multiple 8-figure, 9-figure companies that, you know, and they're stuck and they're like, well, you know, we provide this at the right price. And it's like, well, that will hit a certain value prop for the market, but what is the real value that you're presenting? And if people can figure out that and how to put that into a story, into the sales story, their sales magically go up. And so I think you guys have done that as a master, you know, like a master's on it. We're talking with Dickson Lam, and he owns a company called EFFYDESK up in California. And
Canada.
Oh no, Canada. Yeah, I watched CA. Thank you. Well, so that brings me to the question I wanted to ask. Do you ship to the United States? Because you had mentioned, you know, Google and Silicon Valley. Or are you just in Canada alone?
We've actually just opened our store to accepting US orders. We've just finalized our logistics, and we haven't made a specific USA website yet, but we have opened up our stores to start shipping to the US.
Awesome. So Americans, go to effedesk.com, CA, not com, .ca, Canada.
That's right. So
I love what you had written in an article. You know, you said if branding is your face, then customer service is your heart. It was so well said. Could you share some of the best practices that you have that could make other people stand up and go, okay, customer service needs to be outstanding, and what other businesses should actually look like as an example of having customer service is the heart?
Yeah. So when it comes to customer service, a lot of people really focus on customer service when you're starting out because you don't really have that volume. But as you scale up, you have so much volume. You see a lot of customer service start to go downwards just because there's so much volume. There's not enough time. But we really believe that customer service is, not really your last point of contact. So it's pretty much the last point of touch before your product gets there. And it kind of reassures them what you've bought was of what they need. And customer service is the last point of contact. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. And that's one of the most important, the first touch and the last touch.
Yeah. And for those of you listening, understand that it's a customer journey, right? And customer service is part of that journey. So when you can make them feel great all the way through, even after they purchased, and, you know, and they're treated with respect and dignity, guess what? You'll get more referrals. Guess what? You're going to be able to expand the sale. They're going to come back and buy something again. And so essentially what I teach companies all the time, Dickson, is customer service is also a sales division. And we need to think, what do we provide value and how are we selling value all the way through? Because the customer service department, if done right, can be a big, big boost in productivity and in revenue for a company. And, you know, they can become that extra sales force. And if you look at companies who do this really well, GoDaddy comes to mind. You know, I cannot get on to talk to GoDaddy customer service without at least spending $50 or $100 additional than when I figured I was coming there in the first place. And it's because they're really great at this, and it's in a very gentle way. So I love it. If branding is your face, customer service is your heart. So I want to thank you for being here and being on the CEO Sales Strategy podcast. If people want to get some furniture, get some, you know, for their office, if they want to be more comfortable, they would like, you know, elegant, affordable, and quality ergonomic office furniture, how's the best way to get a hold of your company or you, or whatever methods?
Yeah, so just hop on our website and our live chat. We have multiple amazing, great customer service staff that can help you. If you want to reach out to me directly, you can reach out to me at info@effedesk.ca. And we hope to see everyone there.
And we'll put all these links in for you folks at the bottom. So please scroll down. Okay. Well, Dickson, thanks for being here. I really appreciate you being on the CEO Sales Strategy podcast, and you're doing great stuff. Love the website, love what you have on there, and urging people to go there and check it out at EFFYDESK, EFFEYDESK.ca. So thanks again.
No, thank you so much, Doug. No, thank you for your time and having me on here.
I really enjoyed this interview. It's really nice that when somebody starts a company up, they go to, multiples of millions of dollars and beyond, and they are still having rapid growth. And it's because they were doing things right. And, sometimes right isn't always known. Sometimes we run down a path enthusiastically and we find out, oops, wrong path. However, this is not the story for this man. He's certainly doing quite well. And what I loved about it is everything is sort of methodically thought through. And he focuses on value, the value that he's providing his clients. This is how his company started, and if, branding is your face, customer service is your heart. That's kind of his motto. And reality is that if you follow the pathway of what we talked about in this episode, I think you'll fare really well. And we, he said a lot of brilliant things, and then I unpacked them. We talked a lot about online marketing, and how he's done that. And if you're not embracing that and you need help, let us know, let somebody know, right? And who's been there, done that, and they can help you, at least advise you moving you forward. If you like this episode, please, as always, go up and rate it 5-star. If you have topics that you want to hear about, or you have comments or questions, feel free to send them in to us at You Matter. That's YOUMATTER, You Matter, at businesssuccessfactors.com. Until next time, this is Doug C. Brown signing off for the CEO Sales Strategy Podcast. To your success.